What is going down, Sourdough Squad? Oh boy, it's our first pregame live of the year. Get hyped, get ready because we have 49ers football today. Now, I get it, it's preseason, but any season is better with 49ers football, and I will take all the preseason I can get. So I'm very excited about today. So what we're going to talk about today on today's particular show is we are going to go through who to look for. We're going to preview, obviously, 49ers versus Packers. We're going to identify players to watch for who could potentially stand out from the kind of back end of the roster and things like that. We also are going to do a residency unboxing. So our good friends over at Residency have a new drop. So we are going to preview what's in store in this particular box, see what new hat just dropped today. So we're going to do that as well. But I'm really excited to preview what to look for in this game and matchup against the Packers. There are going to be some players that are going to stand out, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. But before we get into any of it, you already know the vibes. Drop an SDS if you're rocking with your boy. Drop an SDFS if you're hyped for 49ers football. Oh boy, we got football back, baby. You love to see it. Shout out all the bread gang. You love to see it. And I'm looking forward to this game, man. We're going to be back at Levi Stadium today. I'll be back in the stadium, get to smell the football cooking on up. You'll love to see it. Hey, it's a game day. We'll take any game days that we can get. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the entire Sourdough Squad checking in. You love to see it. SDS gang in the building. We got people checking in from Germany. Oh boy, you love to see it. Shout out all the homies. I want to make sure we get everyone in here. Shout out the family. You already know the vibes. We got Mexico checking in. Worldwide, baby. We got SDS all over the globe. You love to see it. We got SDS in Sacktown. I know Sean's out there holding it down on the islands of Hawaii. Jealous. But it's going to be a good time. So let's see. Shout out all the SDS. I want to make sure we get you guys in here. Shout out the gang. We see all the squad in here. All right, let's get to it though. Let's start off. Let's do a little residency unboxing, shall we? Let's see what we got in here. We got some good stuff from our friends at Residency, and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in here. I'm gonna open this thing up. Hopefully, I don't cut myself in the process. Not even using a real knife. We'll see what happens. Let's go. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, we got people all over the freaking place checking in. Let's go. You got people excited for 49ers football. Let's see what we got in here. Let's see what we got in the residency box. What's it gonna be? Ooh, oh boy. Let's go. Ooh, this is spicy. As always, you get your residency stickers, get a little thank you card from Residency, but most importantly, you get the new hat. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was the hat. Oh, and you got the snapback action. Let's go. Residency do typically have Velcro straps, but we got the snapback action. This particular hat, if you don't remember, this was the rookie hat. All the rookies were wearing this thing. This thing's fire, man. Ooh! Shout out Residency. You love to see it. This is a really nice hat, man. This is a really nice hat. I'll drop the link in the chat. So if you want to grab this hat, drop in the link in the chat. And you guys already know the vibes. You go to residency.com. Use the promo code DSF Niners for a little discount on your order. I got to put this thing on. Hold on one second. Ooh, we got that crisp new Residency. Let's go. You love to see it. The crisp new Residency hat. Ooh, we got to get that little sticker off though. Whoop. There we go. Oh boy. The crisp Residency. Let's go. Shout out the squad at Residency. This hat just dropped today. So if you want to get yours, again, I dropped a link in the chat so you can find your way over there. And again, use the promo code the SF Niners. Get yourself a little discount on the hat as well. But this is the one that all the rookies were wearing. I don't know if you guys remember it, but when the rookies showed up, I think to rookie minicamp, they were all wearing this hat. It dropped today. You love to see it. Let's talk a little bit of 49ers football, shall we? Let's talk a little bit of 49ers. A little bit. Let's talk a lot about 49ers football. And let's start with the offensive side. Let's talk about players to look out for, players to watch, players to keep an eye on today. Again, the 49ers should be trotting out their starting offense. However, I am interested to see if the 49ers will be trotting out Trent Williams. I don't know. I'm interested to see if the 49ers are going to trot out Mike McGlinchey. I don't know. They have used both of those guys pretty kind of intermittently throughout training camp. I think we all understand that good old Trent Williams does not need to take a single snap in a preseason game, but we do know from Kyle Shanahan that Trey Lance will be playing today. So it would be nice to see Trent out there potentially blocking for Trey Lance's blind side. So one of the first things that we're going to be looking for is we are going to be watching the offensive line. We are going to be looking at who the starting center is going to be. I imagine it's going to be Jake Brendel running out there with the ones today, but I imagine we're going to see a lot of Jake Brendel. We're going to see a lot of Daniel Brunskill at center. We're also going to see Donovan West at center. So those are three guys to keep an eye out for. You potentially might see Keaton Sutherland at center as well. But I think the three main centers that we're going to be watching today are for sure going to be Brendel, Brunskill, and Donovan West. Donovan West has been running primarily with the third unit all throughout training camp. So that's who we're going to keep our eye on. We want to see what's going to be going down with that center position. Obviously, Brendel and Brunskill have been battling it out all of training camp. They have been rotating. They have been splitting reps with the first team. Like I said, I imagine it's going to be Brendel today out there with the ones. But we are going to be keeping our eye on that. Things that we're looking for, pass protection, how do they get to second level, things like that. But we're also going to be looking at the two guys right next to the centers. We're going to be looking at Spencer Burford, and we are going to be watching Aaron Banks. So a lot of eyes on the interior offensive line today. Can they keep Trey Lance clean? Are they going to be able to work together in pass protection, sliding protections, picking up blitzes, things like that? So the biggest thing with Aaron Banks struggled a little bit with power in training camp. So he was, he would give up ground on occasion, whether it was with a bull rush or things like that. So those are going to be one of the things that we are looking for today. Again, I'm going to be watching a lot of the offensive line. I want to see how they handle today going up against other defensive lines. And we'll see. Kenny Clark, if they actually put Kenny Clark out there, that will be a great test for this offensive line because Kenny Clark is one of the better interior defensive tackles in the NFL that plays for the Packers. So I would actually like to see that. I would like to see Kenny Clark out there because if Kenny Clark's out there, that's going to give us a really good baseline understanding of basically how this interior offensive line will be able to match up against one of the better interior defensive tackles in the league. So I'm hoping we see Kenny Clark again, not because I want the Packers to be at an advantage with their defensive line, but Kenny Clark is that good of a player. So to kind of get a really good understanding of what these guys on the interior look like, I want them to go against one of the best. And if they go against one of the best, we will be able to get a better baseline of what they look like going against opposite opponents. So definitely something that I'm looking for, a matchup that I will be hunting down like a hawk. I want to see Kenny Clark out there go up against these three guys on the front end. Spencer Burford looks really good. So Spencer Burford is a guy that I'm really looking forward to. Again, getting more run with the ones, getting to see him go against some other players that are not the 49ers. And Spencer Burford has shown he's really solid at the position. So Spencer Burford in camp has done a really good job. Um, Again, similar things with Aaron Banks. He can get bull rushed at times. So want to see how he continues to prove his anchoring in pass protection and things like that. But again, this is going to be our first introduction to these guys on the starting offensive line. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to. Those are the three guys, but it doesn't just end with the starters, right? So another guy that I'm really excited to get my eyes on is Jason Poe. So number 62, the undrafted free agent center slash guard slash fullback out of Mercer has had one of the best camps of anyone on the team. He started with the third team. He moved his way to the second team. Jason Poe has been phenomenal in training camp. He's done really good in pass protection. He's really shown that he can move guys, even though he's about 6'1". He does have great leverage, and I'm really excited to see what he looks like out there. So keep an eye on Jason Poe with the starting offensive line. Another guy to look for, or not the starting offensive line, but the second string offensive line. I think Colton McKivitz right now is kind of your sixth man on that offensive line. So keep an eye out for Colton McKivitz. We'll probably get a good look at Jordan Mills as well. So that's another guy to keep an eye on that the 49ers added recently in training camp, has had many years starting in the league. And you could kind of see that out there in training camp. You could kind of tell that Jordan Mills has been there and he's done that before, and he's done it in a starting capacity because he stepped right in and did not look overwhelmed at all. So we will see what's going down with that. Let's see. Corey Soto is saying, I'm interested in seeing Lance command the offseason as I'm in just as I am in just his throws. I think what Corey is saying here is he is excited to see how Trey Lance kind of takes over the entire offense and leads them down the field, and not just how he throws, kind of the overall situation and things like that. So I'm excited to see those things too. Again, the things with Trey Lance, and I guess we'll transition to Trey Lance right now. And shout out for the super chat, Corey. Is Trey Lance? We're really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to see his energy, body language. Looking forward to see how he's able. Is he going to be? Does he feel like he's more anxiety than confidence? I think those are the things that we are looking for. And from training camp, when you see Trey Lance showing confidence and having that type of energy, he had his best days on those types of days. So this isn't going to be his first preseason. He's been here before. He's done it. If you guys remember going back to the Chiefs game, he had that huge touchdown pass to Trent Sherfield in that game. So We saw extended playing time from Trey Lance in the Raiders game. He started 2 games last year. So we have a baseline understanding of what Trey Lance is. What we want to see from Trey Lance is we want to see good decision making. We want to see him take care of the football. Again, no need to force a lot of stuff. I think I want to see Trey Lance handle this almost like a real game. Like, I get it's preseason, the outcome really doesn't matter. You can be trying a bunch of different things, but I still want to see him try to be efficient. I want to see him take care of the football, not turn the football over, because that's going to be the recipe going into this season is Trey Lance managing this offense and then using his uh, escapability out of the pocket with his legs, his ability to run, and then the cannon that he has, whether it's off play action or other things. But ultimately, what I'm looking for is what's the energy looking like, and then how does he play from an efficiency standpoint? Other things that we're going to be looking for: accuracy and timing. That's what we want to see. We want to see Trey Lance continuing to become more efficient with his accuracy and his timing. Within the offense. So those are the things that we're going to be looking for. I think we all understand Trey Lance can make all the throws. It's can he do it consistently? Can he do it with timing? And can he do it efficiently? So those are the main things that I think we're going to be on the lookout today for kind of the starting. We talked about the starting offensive line. And with Trey Lance, those are going to be kind of the key points of emphasis for me specifically is taking care of the football, efficiency, all those types of things, and just see how he manages this particular game. Now, I don't know how much he will be playing. I don't know if it's going to be a drive, 2 drives, 3 drives, a quarter, a half. Kyle Shanahan came out last week and said Trey Lance will be playing for the first preseason game and the last preseason game. So he won't be playing against Minnesota right there in the middle. He'll only be playing against Green Bay and the Broncos. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is the game where he gets the extended time to play because of the fact that week 3 against the Broncos could just be a little kind of just get out there, knock some of the cobwebs off, things like that as they get ready for the regular season. But we'll see what's gonna go down. Let's see here. I saw someone ask a question earlier. I think. Let's see what I'm looking. Oh, never mind. So that's what I'm on the lookout for Trey Lance. And that situation with the starting offensive line. So as we continue to move through, let's talk a little bit about the running backs. Let's talk a little bit about the running backs. Obviously, we are going to be looking for how much does Elijah Mitchell play? I would imagine Elijah Mitchell doesn't play a whole lot. I imagine he gets a couple drives or 2. But we're really going to be looking at the competition behind Elijah Mitchell. So far, TDP, Ty Davis Price, was one of the first guys up when it came to training camp. And Ty Davis Price had a slow start to training camp, but man, he really ramped it up at the end, showing great vision, great ability to read his blocks and make cuts off of his blocks. And again, he's a very, very stout, hard-nosed runner. He'll be able to make the cuts, but when it comes to lowering the shoulder, he will lower his shoulder into you. So that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for the cutting ability, the how he flows behind these offensive line and these blocks, what the cuts look like, what the vision looks like, and then see the speed to power after that. So those are the kinds of things we're looking for TDP. Trey Sermon and Jeff Wilson Jr. were felt like they were kind of on the same playing field in training camp. So those are the two guys we want to see who performs better out of those two, Trey Sermon or Jeff Wilson. Because those guys are kind of right there at that third spot. Feels like they're fighting for that third spot. Again, feels like it's going to be a rotation. It's going to be a running back by committee. But if we had to put it in a pecking order, it does feel like it's Elijah Mitchell, TDP, Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson, JaMycal Hasty, and Jordan Mason. JaMycal Hasty, I imagine, is going to be used out of the backfield in the passing game, those types of things. So that's what we'll be working for with JaMycal Hasty, is to see if he can make his impact felt. But again, I think one of the guys that we really, really want to see is we want to see Jordan Mason. I imagine Jordan Mason's going to get a lot of run tonight, and really excited to see how Jordan Mason runs in a game time scenario, because I think we're all going to get introduced to what we've been seeing at training camp, and we're going to see Jordan Mason, a guy who's really good at running behind his pads, has really good cutting ability, phenomenal vision for an undrafted free agent rookie, but what he's going to look like as a receiver, I'm really excited about that. I want to see what Jordan Mason looks like in pass protection. Can Jordan Mason be that third down back? Can he snag it away from, JaMycal Hasty, who's had a good camp as well? Last day of training camp, JaMycal Hasty busted a big run for a touchdown. So JaMycal Hasty has shown quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to it. And CJ Gray says, who cares? It is the preseason. Well, real fans care, because this is a great opportunity to see guys that you're not going to see in the regular season. So the diehard fans, the fans that are tuned into this show right now, they care. They care about these preseason games because it's an opportunity to see the back end of the roster and see potential practice squad guys that could come in at the mid-year point if an injury happens. Be on the lookout for these guys that are on the roster that could absolutely play a part later on in the year. So you might not care about preseason. That's fine. I'm totally fine if you don't care about preseason, but we got about 200 people in here who care about preseason. So maybe you're in the wrong spot, my guy, but it's okay. You can stick around and enjoy the show, because we do care about preseason, and we care about guys like Jordan Mason who have the ability to. Jordan Mason has shown he is an NFL back, but why do we care about preseason? Because the 49ers only going to keep 4 running backs. And right now they have 6 guys that could be on an NFL roster. So who's going to stand out? And guess what? Preseason is an perfect opportunity to win a spot, to show to the coaching staff, show to the rest of the roster that you belong. So if you care about preseason because you care about the guys on the back end of the roster fighting for roster spots, again, we got 6 guys in the running back position fighting for 4 spots. If you care about those types of things, smash that like button and let's get hyped, because football is here. We don't get it's like this is an upgrade from training camp. Like, they're going against another team, the Packers. We hate the Packers. Like, we're still smoking that cheese pack from the divisional round playoff game. That cheese pack's still hitting. And guess what? We get another opportunity to see how our squad stacks against another team. And those are the things that we're going to be looking for. Again, another reason why you would care about preseason football is who's going to win that 6th wide receiver spot. Who's going to win that number 6 wide receiver spot? Is it going to be Malik Turner? Is it going to be Tay Martin? Is it going to be Marcus Johnson? Is it going to be Keyshawn Johnson? Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Willie Snead? Those are the things that we are looking for with these types of games. We understand Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Ray McLeod, Danny Gray. Those guys are going to make the roster. But this is going to be the first time for a lot of fans that they get to get their eyes on Danny Gray. You're going to be able to see Danny Gray probably get some extended snaps today. You're going to be able to get to see what that speed looks like. You're going to be able to see how he catches the football. You're going to see those things today. You're going to see Jordan Mason. Let's go. I know my guy Justin's hype to see Jordan Mason, the leader of the Jordan Mason Hive. But again, you're going to see a lot of stuff today, man. You're going to be seeing a lot of good stuff. If you really want to be one of those fans that understands the roster from top to bottom, that's why preseason is a fun experience, because you get to see and you get to know and learn these guys that are on your team that could potentially come back and be someone that plays an integral role for your team. Azeez Al-Shaair, undrafted free agent. Dre Greenlaw, 5th-round draft pick. Kevin Givens, your starting defensive tackle, undrafted free agent. Emmanuel Mosley, undrafted free agent. So you have an opportunity to see these guys show what they're capable of today. And you'll be able to see one of these guys is going to crack the roster. And if you want to know and be knowledgeable, that's why we pay attention to preseason. Come on now. So with the wide receiver position, I'm looking at about three to four guys. Tay Martin. I really am looking forward to Tay Martin. Tay Martin was really buried behind the wide receivers and just really wasn't getting a lot of run. But Tay Martin proves, whether it's in one-on-ones or in team period, that he is a pretty damn good route runner. And he has strong hands, and he has ability to go up and attack the football at its highest point. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Tay Martin does. That's a wide receiver that I got my eyes on, number 83, Tay Martin. Looking forward to him. Looking forward to Malik Turner. Malik Turner has been the guy that has been leading that 6th wide receiver spot. So we are keeping our eyes on Malik Turner. What does he do? Marcus Johnson had a really good end of camp. He started to pick it up towards the end of camp. So Marcus Johnson, I believe he's number 6, had a strong finish to training camp after kind of getting dinged up a little bit and going on concussion protocol. When Fred Warner dropped his shoulder into his back, and then Brandon Ayuk and Warner threw hands after that. A guy that I feel like would have had a much better camp would have been Austin Mack, number 81. Austin Mack, he looks like an NFL wide receiver. He just dropped half the passes that went his way in training camp. So if Austin Mack just caught everything, then we would be talking about Austin Mack a whole lot more. But you never know. He could be a gamer. He could be a guy that comes out and balls out tonight. Keyshawn Johnson, former Arizona Cardinal, he could be a guy that balls out tonight. Willie Snead. So there are like 6 guys right now fighting for that 6th spot. So that's one of the things that we're going to be looking for. Let's see, what else are we going to be looking for? Who's going to be the 3rd tight end to make the roster? No Charlie Warner. Charlie Warner is still hurt, but that means extended playing time for guys like Ross Dwelly, Troy Fumagalli, Tanner Hudson, Tyler Kroft. Right now, I have Tyler Kroft kind of up there, but does Ross Dwelly say, nope, I'm making the roster? Does Troy Fumagalli come out and ball out? Tanner Hudson has proved to be a pretty solid receiving tight end. So is he going to be a guy that shows out today? There's a lot of battles on this roster, guys. There's a lot of battle. Like we just talked about the offense, right? We just talked about the offense. We got battle at center. We got battles at running back. We got battles at wide receivers, and we got battles at tight end. And we're trying to identify what Trey Lance looks like, right? So there's a lot of things to watch out for. We're watching who's going to be those guys that there's battles for the backup offensive line spots. So we've gone 30 minutes in, and we are now we're still on the offense, and there's so many battles to be waged. So very much looking forward to it. And yes, I do read the chat, but your boy's cooking right now. This Gingerbeard's cooking. We're cooking on who to watch for in this preseason game because it's preseason, right? It's preseason, but we get to see some boys ball today. And I'm hyped and I'm cooking on who we need to watch for because we are determining who's in position battles and who's going to come out and win those battles. And preseason is a phenomenal opportunity to do just that. So those are the things that we are looking for. But I'm going to let you guys pick the next. So we're going to switch over to defense. Let's talk about defense now. Let's talk about what position do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Drop it in the chat. What defensive position do you want to look for? Whether it's position battles, players to keep an eye on. Who's it going to be? Corey was first, so we're gonna get Corey. Corey got it in here fast. He wants to see Drake Jackson, so we are gonna stick on the defensive line with that. Drake Jackson is gonna be a guy that we are absolutely looking for. You could clearly see Drake Jackson versus the third string offensive line absolutely outmatched. They had no shot at being able to compete against Drake Jackson. Drake Jackson really showed that he does belong in the starting rotation with the ones, but there are a lot of guys who proved they should be in the starting rotation with the ones. Not only Drake Jackson, but again, he's the second round draft pick, the first pick in last year's draft at pick 61 at a USC. A lot of people want to look at Drake Jackson, and rightfully so. Drake Jackson has proven he has the length, the speed, the size, the moves to either win with speed or win with power. So those are the things you're going to be looking for from Drake Jackson. How has his pass rush moves evolved, the technique, all those types of things, run fits, how is he able to accomplish those things? So I expect Drake Jackson to get a lot of opportunities today. So definitely looking forward to that. But sticking on to the defensive end, sticking with the defensive ends, let's stay right there. Samson Ebukam has been consistently the first guy out across from Nick Bosa. I don't know if we're going to see Nick Bosa. I don't know. I don't think we need to. I really don't think we need to. I don't think we need to at all. We know exactly what Nick Bosa is. And if I'll say this about Nick Bosa, if you are a betting man and the odds look good, I would put some money on Nick Bosa to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'll say it now. Like, if you like to bet and you like the long odds and those types of things, and the odds look good for Nick Bosa to get a good return on, I don't give betting advice because I'm a football guy. But if you want to take the football guy in me and somehow take that information on over to potential Defensive Player of the Year and get some money out of it, again, I don't know what the odds are. I have no idea. But Nick Bosa looks like a Defensive Player of the Year. He is on point in training camp. He's built literally different. He turned it on to the last day of training camp. He went crazy. It looked like he was unstoppable. He got stopped the first period, and then he said, this is unacceptable. I'm turning this up, and then no one could stop him after that. He looks insane. I don't know if we're going to see Nick Bosa. I don't know how much of Samson Ebukam we're going to see, but the guys that I'm really going to be keying on in this particular game are guys like Charles Omenihu, Kamoko Toure. Charles Omenihu and Kamoko Toure have been solid. Charles Omenihu is a guy who can play outside and inside. So think of the Arden Key role, those types of things. Um, Kamoko Toure, or I'm sorry, Charles Omenihu has shown in practice that not only can he line up on both left and right side, but he can line up on the interior. So how we saw Arden Key have success in this scheme last year, whether it was playing on the outside or shifting inside, Charles Omenihu feels like he could be a better version of Arden Key. Arden Key, I know you guys saw Jacksonville preseason game. I think he had a sack in that game. I could see Charles Omenihu doing some of the same in this game. Again, 6'5", 280 pounds. Extremely long, and that length works really well against guards who typically have shorter arms. And he has the pass rush moves, he has the power, he has the speed. Charles Omenihu is a guy that I'm really looking forward to as a guy who can be a utility tool across that defensive line. Kamoko Toure is a guy I'm going to be watching for his speed rush. He is a pass rush specialist. Um, he went crazy with his setup outside speed, counter inside spin move. This inside spin move, Kamoko Toure was damn near undefeated all of training camp. I don't know if Kamoko Toure is going to be your like prototypical run defender, so I see more Kamoko Toure as a pass rush specialist at this point. But if he can start playing games with these offensive tackles, setting up outside speed, countering inside spin, you could see 3 sacks in a hurry from Kamoko Toure. Now, again, I don't think Kamoko Toure's biggest attribute is being a run defender, but in the pass game, at least in training camp, Kamoko Toure has been pretty fun to watch. So he's a guy that I would definitely watch for. So Charles Omenihu, Kamoko Toure, Drake Jackson, those three guys is on the edge are going to be kind of at the top of the list. Kerry Hyder's been kind of used all over the place as well. Kerry Hyder has lined up a lot on the interior in the 3 tech over guards. But he does feel like he has a role with this team. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Kevin Givens has been the mainstay at starting defensive tackle for the 49ers. We'll see how long that continues on or how much he plays in this particular game. I want to talk about Alex Barrett. I don't know if Alex Barrett's going to make the team, but Alex Barrett consistently won in training camp. Like he's not huge. He's 6'2", 250 pounds, but he has great interior pass rush moves. He's very fast. He has great first step quickness. He has this ability to get into the pads of the offensive lineman quick and then initiate his moves. I imagine he's going to get a lot of run in preseason. Alex Barrett, he could be a name to just watch. I don't know if he has a chance to make the roster. He's always been kind of that fringe guy. I think going back to 2020, the 49ers cut him 6 times in 1 year, and then he ended up making a game-winning play against Arizona back in 2020. So Alex Barrett has stuck around for a long time. He's kind of one of these Dante Johnson-esque players for the 49ers. But I really like what I saw from Alex Barrett this year, this training camp. He was given some of these centers fits, whether it's one-on-one or in team drills. So he would be a guy on the back end of the roster that's kind of fighting and clawing and scrapping for a spot. He would be someone to watch today, as well as Robert Nkemdiche. Robert Nkemdiche has shown that he does look like he belongs. So I'm excited to see what Robert Nkemdiche looks like. I think Robert Nkemdiche understands what type of opportunity he has in front of him, and it feels like he's been making the most of it. So Robert Nkemdiche, if he has a good preseason, he could definitely solidify a spot on the starting defensive line. But I think one of the main guys that we're looking for on the D line that we are really excited to see, and I know a lot, I've got to see him in training camp, but I think some of the guys that if you haven't been to training camp, you're going to want to see Javon Kinlaw. I'm really excited for Javon Kinlaw. He looks like he is in the best shape of his life. He looks mentally good. He looks physically good. And that's a scary combination. When you get a player of that size, that strength, the movement ability, and he looks ready. Like I think you can make the argument that he wasn't ready earlier in his career. When I talked to Jamon, he's like, "Man, I was pretending like this was college. Like I had just go to practice and then do whatever I want." And he's like, "That's not how. If you do that, you're going to get hit like a ton of bricks because you have to be doing everything that they ask you plus more." And I think he understands that now in this particular part of his career. And you're seeing that translate onto the field in training camp. So Javon Kinlaw, we'll see. I imagine he has a bit of a managed load because he's still they tend to have a ramp up for guys coming off injury, but the last couple days in training camp, he was ramping up and he was looking pretty darn good. Him and Charles Omenihu were playing together a lot on the right side of the D line, and they looked pretty good together. They're running stunts, they were doing all different types of things, and it was pretty fun to watch. So I'm excited to see if Javon Kinlaw uh, gets extended playing time, but he's a guy that I really, really like to see. Akeem Spence has shown a little bit here or there. We'll see how much run he gets. Kevin Atkins, the undrafted free agent, we'll see if he gets any run. But what else? What else do you guys want to talk about on the defensive side? I'm going to kick it back to you. We could talk linebackers. We can talk cornerbacks. We can talk safeties. Which position do you guys want to discuss next? Ooh, my guy got it in fast. So we'll talk cornerbacks. This is a position that I think we all understand. No Charvarius Ward today. No Emmanuel Mosley today, most likely. So what does that translate to? I would imagine that we are going to see a lot of Ambry Thomas. We are going to see a lot of Samuel Womack, a lot of Diamador Lenore, Quantrez Knight, Dante Johnson. I think this is what the starters are going to look like on the outside. I think the starters on the outside are going to be Kadar Holman and Ambry Thomas. So that's what I think the starters are going to look like. I think it's going to be Kadar Holman on one side and it's going to be Ambry Thomas on the other. Could be Darquez Denard to start preseason in the nickel, but I imagine we're going to also see a lot of Samuel Womack in the nickel. I think Samuel Womack has an opportunity to kind of wrangle that position away, especially if he does have a good preseason. He's had a good training camp. Samuel Womack has played quite a bit, and he's flashed in almost every practice. So Samuel Womack shows what you want to see out of a nickel corner. He shows an ability to attack downhill in the run game, right? What did we like from K'Wan Williams so much? We really liked K'Wan's ability to be a force in the run game. Now, K'Wan Williams was actually I would say he was okay in coverage, but what made K'Wan Williams the shark was his ability to blitz off the edge, his ability to make plays in the run game, and things like that, and be able to be really good in the slot in that way. Well, I've seen a lot from Samuel Womack. I've seen the ability to make plays in the run game, and I've also seen plays where he's in coverage. So really excited to see what Samuel Womack looks like. Looking forward to see if Diamador Lenore can take a step forward. He had a decent camp, but he's also feels like he's just buried on the roster. So we'll continue to see how that plays out, and see if he has an opportunity to carve out a role with this team. I imagine we see Dante Johnson out there with the cornerbacks. Quantrez Knight had an up and down camp. He did show flashes where he looked really good, and then he showed flashes where he would get beat. Obviously, the 49ers are going to be showing Tariq Castro Fields, who was a 6th-round draft pick. I think the preseason for Tariq Castro Fields is going to mean a lot because he didn't look phenomenally great in training camp. He looks really rigid as an athlete. But if he comes out and has a good preseason, that will be good for him. But we'll see Tariq Castro Fields most likely tonight, and how he manages his reps. Let's talk a little safety, though. Let's talk a little safety. Um, I don't know how much Jimmy Ward's going to be playing. I think Jimmy Ward has had one of the better camps of anyone on the roster. So I don't know if we need to see Jimmy Ward. I don't know if any of you need to see Jimmy Ward. I think we all understand what the enforcer brings to the table, but what we are going to be looking for is the spot next to him. We've seen Tarvarius Moore run out in training camp and run with the ones. We've seen Talanoa Hufanga run out with the ones. I feel like Talanoa Hufanga is the more consistent of the two, and really shows an ability to make plays in the run game, do a lot of really positive things from Talanoa Hufanga. And those are the two guys that I think will get a lot of run tonight. Tarvarius Moore, Talanoa Hufanga, and again, George Odom. The 49ers paid somewhat of a premium for George Odom. So we're going to see what George Odom can bring to the table. Those are the three, I think, main safeties out of Jimmy Ward that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And excited to see which one of those guys steps up. I think it's going to be Talanoa Hufanga, but again, it's going to be nice to see Tarvarius Moore out there again, since he, if you guys remember, I think he tore his Achilles in OTAs the previous year. My guy says, nice to see non-toxic Niner fans here. Hey, shout out to the SDS. The SDS is a vibe. We like to be positive around here. So we welcome you to our this place of positivity where we just objectively talk about the 49ers. Welcome, my guy. Coach says, haven't heard much about Tariq Castro Fields and Leon O'Neal. How are they doing? Leon O'Neal had a rough camp. He got actually waived. He got waived, and then he cleared waivers and then reverted to the team's IR. So he is in the IR right now. So probably won't see Leon O'Neal this year. Castro Fields hasn't really been much of anything to note. He's been at best okay. But yeah, not a whole lot to see there. I think the 49ers are going to keep 4, and I think it's pretty evident of who those 4 are going to be. It's going to be Talanoa, Jimmy Ward, Tarvarius Moore, and Talanoa, George Odom. So those are the guys that we're looking for. And to kind of wrap it up with the linebackers, I don't know how much we're going to see of Fred Warner, Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw was wearing the blue non-contact jersey last day of training camp. So I really don't know how much Dre Greenlaw is going to play, if he plays at all. But the guy who has been stepping in for Dre Greenlaw, if Dre Greenlaw has been out, has been Oren Burks. So really excited to watch Oren Burks. I think Oren Burks has flashed again. It's a bit of a revenge game for Oren Burks going against his old team, the Green Bay Packers. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if Oren Burks got the start after Aziz Al-Shaair. But Oren Burks has had a promising training camp. So I'm excited to see Oren Burks in some actual time. Uh, Geez, the bots have showed up. The bots have showed up. So from a linebacking standpoint, uh, don't don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of Aziz, Fred, or Greenlaw. But the guys to keep an eye out for are going to be Oren Burks, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, and then undrafted free agent guys like Marcelino McCrary Ball, who's had a pretty darn good camp, Sagan Ulubi, and Curtis Robinson. So those are three linebackers to keep an eye on. Um, it's going to be an uphill battle for any of these undrafted free agent guys to make it, because really do feel like whether they keep 4 or 5 linebackers, they have a good setup with Greenlaw, Warner, Aziz, Oren Burks, and DFF. So it's going to be an uphill battle. It does feel like those guys are going to make the practice squad if they don't make other rosters, but they have an opportunity to really ball out. So we're going to see about that. Um, but overall, man, you go down the list. This roster is stacked. This roster is stacked. So that's why I think preseason is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to. There's a lot of talent on this roster. This is probably one of the deepest rosters we've seen in 10 years. So what does that translate to? That translates to great competition. That translates into great position battles. So really excited for these like normally preseason is a bit of a ho hum, like kind of like, oh, whatever, right? But today, this preseason feels a little bit different because there are a lot of position battles. There's a lot of good depth on this roster, and it's a great opportunity to see who can keep rising up the ranks and potentially be a surprise roster make. So that's what I'm looking forward to training to preseason. Again, got the Packers going. Yes, I will be at the game today, so I will be there. Um, I will absolutely be there. So definitely looking forward to getting out to Levi's Stadium again, enjoying all the sights and the sounds. Really, really looking forward to it. Always a good day when you can get out to training camp, or not training camp, to preseason, um, and all that good stuff. Is Justin in the chat? If Justin's in the chat, say what's up. If Justin's in the chat, say what's up. Speaking of going to the game, I'll see if he's here. But if Justin's here, say what's up. Kickoff is at 5:30. Gates open at 3:30. Yes, Pacific Standard Time. How we watching this game? You can watch on the app. Okay, Justin is here. Beautiful. All right. So Justin, our head sourdough scout, he has 2 tickets that he wants to give away. So if you want to go to the game tonight and you are a loyal member of the sourdough squad, we have a fellow sourdough squadian who's willing to give up 2 tickets for free. And but of course, you have to be able to go and be located in the Bay Area. I know we have a lot of people who watch from all over the place, so obviously this giveaway only applies if you're in the Bay. So let's do this. If you are in the Bay, and you can potentially go to the game tonight, drop an SDS in the chat only if you are in the Bay and you can go to the game. Just drop an SDS just so we can kind of start to see who can actually go, because we don't want to give the tickets away to someone who isn't available to go. So I see a couple people rolling in. Yeah, shout out Justin, man of the people, got some tickets to give away. We see some people that are available to go. Doesn't look like a ton, but that's all that matters. So let's do it like this. Again, got to be able to go. Got to be in the Bay. Got to be able to actually make the game. So let's do it like this. Let's do this giveaway like this. I'm going to think of a player that is in a position battle. So again, it helps if you're watching the whole stream. So I probably talked about him, but a player that is in a position battle fighting for a roster. So the first person to name this player gets the tickets. Ready, go. So we talked a lot about position battles today. First person to name the player gets the tickets, and courtesy of our guy Justin. First person to name the player that's going to be in a position battle tonight for the 49ers gets the tickets. So you gotta guess the player correctly. It's not Brunskill, not Womack, not Burford. Let's see, not Burks, not Willie Snead, not Hasty. Ooh, you guys getting close. Keep guessing. You can have as many guesses as you want. Drop them in the chat. The winner gets tickets to the game, courtesy of Justin. Not Wilson, not Ward, not Odom, not Poe, not Purdy. Let's see here. I hope that everyone's voting is in the Bay, because the guy who guessed it right is Joey Nichols. Joey, are you in the Bay? I of course had to pick Justin's guy. If you know Justin, you know he is the Jordan Mason guy. So of course we picked Jordan Mason. So Jordan Mason's the guy, but Joey Nichols is, come on, man. Not in the Bay. I knew it. All right. So that whole situation was ruined. So now we got to reset. So now we're just going to do 1 through 10. I'm going to write a number down, and you got to pick it. All right. Go. First person to get it. Only vote if you can go to the game today. Only vote if you can go to the game today. Only guess if you can go to the game today. First person to get it gets it. Only if you can go to the game today. Let's not ruin it for everyone else. No one's got it yet. Only if you can go to the game today. You get 2 tickets to 49ers versus Packers, 1 through 10. There we go. Shout out, Oscar. Oh, wait, no, I apologize. You weren't the first. You weren't the first. I'm sorry. Jesus was the first. That's my bad. Hey, shout out Jesus. He was the first one. Jesus, can you go to the game? Check the records. Check the records. Jesus was the first one to drop 10. Sorry, Oscar. Oscars was the first one I saw, but unfortunately, Jesus was actually the first one to get it. Jesus, can you go? Do we got confirmation? Oh, he's in San Jose. Let's go. And this is lovely. So again, thank you for everyone who participated. It's not an exact science, but if you go back and you check the records, Jesus was the first person to drop number 10 in the chat. I'm double checking. Yep, Jesus was the first person to drop number 10 in the chat. He wins the tickets. Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for participating. And again, shout out Justin, man. Shout out Justin, giving up the tickets. Let's go. And this is one of our day one homies, too. This is one of the day one homies. So you love to see it. Day one SDS helping out another day one SDS. Love to see it. Hi, Turk. Shout out Justin. Appreciate Justin for the giveaway. Jesus, I know we all link on Twitter. So let's link in Twitter and we'll get this thing figured out. But again, shout out our guy Justin for graciously giving up 2 tickets to the game today. You love to see it. You love to see it too because we got some SDS day ones in here getting it done. You love to see the SDS helping each other out with all that good stuff, man. It's really good to see SDS helping each other out. You love to see it. So appreciate you, Justin, for offering those up. Glad we were able to get those tickets into someone's hands who is very deserving. And of course, an SDS member. Let's go. My guy's hyped. You love to see it. You love to see it. Look at the SDS, man. You love to see it. We got to see the pictures and all of it. We got to see it all. But again, appreciate everyone who continues to ride with the SDS. Jesus says he's going to take his little brother. Let's go. You love to see it, man. So enjoy the game. Enjoy. We got all kinds of fun stuff going on. Again, can't shout out Justin enough. Appreciate you, man. Love that it's going to Jesus as well. So looking forward to the preseason game tonight. 49ers versus Green Bay. Whole lot of stuff to look for and watch for. I'll probably be doing a post-game show. Don't necessarily know what the timing is going to look like because I will be at the game as well. So I won't be, in my home base. But again, I'll be posting clips and videos and all that type of stuff pre-game, during the game. So make sure you stay locked in to the channel. Hit that noti bell so whenever we post a highlight, you get it first. All that good stuff. And of course, we will be doing post-game shows and all that kind of stuff. So these are the details. Let's go. Congratulations, Jesus. Shout out, Justin. I love that it's 2 OG SDS members. But again, thank you to everyone who participated, including Joey Nichols. Oh, I did miss your super chat. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. I got a little lost in the sauce. Let's see here. Will one of our corners make the Pro Bowl this year? I think that is an absolute possibility. Uh, Pro Bowl is a little bit of a popularity contest, so it would take one of these guys to get like big time interception numbers. I think to really be able to make the Pro Bowl, just because I don't think E-Man or Charvarius Ward is necessarily a household name yet. And Pro Bowl is literally it's like a year behind, like even Fred Warner. Like Fred Warner was probably the best linebacker in the NFL, but I don't think he made the Pro Bowl until like the following year that he duplicated his particular season. So I would say they probably have a better chance at even making all pro than Pro Bowl, but we'll see. Again, Pro Bowl is definitely a popularity contest. So as long as one of these guys comes away extremely popular, and the way you get popular is you make turnovers, which both guys are capable of doing. It's definitely an outcome that could happen, but we'll see. We will see. I think they're both absolutely capable of being Pro Bowl caliber cornerbacks. We'll see if it actually occurs. Again, there's a lot that goes into being a Pro Bowler, and it's like the popular vote. Like you just got to be the popular kid at the table. Um, and Charvarius Ward, isn't like a household name just yet. So we'll see. But hey, I see like we're at almost like 300 people in here. We got almost 300 people in here before we wrap this thing out. Can we get to 300 or not 300? Ooh, too many. 150. Can we get to 150 likes before we get out of here for our first preseason game of the year? I see like 115 likes on the post. I feel like we could get to 150 in about 2 seconds if we just come together and like the post. You guys already know, helps me, helps the page, helps the channel, helps it all, and I would really appreciate it. Would really appreciate it, um, and all that good stuff. Let's see if we can do it. Can we get to 150 in a blink of an eye? Let's see. Oh, we went from 115. We went from 115 to 140 just like that. See? We just went from 115 to 140 just like that. Shout out all the SDS. We appreciate the engagement. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the vibes. And boom, just like that, 150. Let's go. Shout out the squad. We did it just like that. Just like that, we hit 150. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best, man. Again, the support you guys continue to show this channel, this ginger beard is greatly appreciated. And I cannot say it enough. Shout out to everyone who liked the post. Shout out everyone who subscribes to the channel and also got those noti bells. And shout out if you're just a good old 49er fan, you stumbled onto the page and you're like, oh, what's this guy talking about? Just shout out if you're checking in for the first time. We really do appreciate you guys a ton. Already to almost 170 likes. Wow. You guys are the best. So excited to get there today. Again, shout out Justin one more time for the giveaway of 2 tickets to tonight's game to another faithful SDS member, Jesus. So that was really cool. And again, shout out everybody who's hyped for 49ers football, regardless if we're talking preseason, regular season, doesn't matter. Looking forward to what we got in store today. Appreciate everyone. I'm out of here. Again, I'll be posting content on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So be sure to be locked in. It is game day, so you know the content is going up. Jesus going to be at the Niner game. You love to see it. You love to see it. Shout out everyone. I'm out of here, but not for long. We'll be back later talking all things 49ers, recapping the game, guys who stood out, guys who had good. It might be a late night. Little live action, but hey, we're all 49er degenerate fans, and so I know you guys will be up for it. Shout out all you guys. Shout out everyone. Looking forward to getting some Niner football. We're out.